Good morning, and I hope you've been well. And this is part 116 of the Pokemon Rejuvenation V13.5 Let's Play. Set mode, no items, so yeah. So before we do get on with today's episode, there is one thing that I do want to talk about real quick, so yeah. I'll try not to make it too lengthy. Pretty much like I brought up on the last episode, I really wanted to make this segment of the story its own episode, and that's why the last episode was more so about 40 something minutes. So yeah, but anyways, the word by words carefully for new players that don't want to be spoiled. Pretty much a lot of very interesting things happen within this point of the story, and pretty much there's also going to be quite a few spoiler rants throughout this episode. So yeah, hopefully that kind of makes sense without spoiling stuff. But if you are a repeat player, you kind of know what's about to happen, but if you are new, I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to say any more than what I've just said. So yeah, but as always, before I go on any spoiler rant, I always give a warning to go to the comment section below to skip on ahead if you are somebody that is a new player that doesn't want to get outright spoiled by certain things. So yeah, but with that being said and done, I'm really excited about this part of the story, and I think I mentioned it at the beginning. If not, I'll say it here now because I don't really remember. I really do hope with V13.5 they didn't really change it and take a, or how do I want to word it, like watered it down and took some things away from this, because I've noticed again, like with V13.5, throughout different segments, there are things like they add, but I've noticed there are things that they take away. So time will tell. It's my first time going through the game, playing on V13.5 story from start to finish. So yeah, I don't really know what to expect. I really hope it's the same, if not they added more to it, but time will tell as we continue on. But anyways, enough of that. What the? Where am I? This is like that place where I saw Emma. What was I doing before this? I can't remember. That's right, the Grand Dream Ball. There was an explosion. Oh no, Aaron. My head is killing me. I should take a look around and see what I can find. Real quick. Okay. Inner workings. I remember a longtime viewer brought it up, and I kind of forgot to do it. But during the Doom timeline, on another playthrough of my own time, when I get to that point, I really want to see what they meant by that. To kind of like see where it shows about the whole saving thing on where you're at within the Doom timeline, when Malia gets blasted by Melanesia Voltol. So I know he mentioned that before, but I forgot to do that during this series. But it looks like within this area it's called Inner Workings. Okay. Anything different with this? No. Okay. I was just curious about the map. Okay. And then Amberite Town. That's where she kind of like grew up at, sorry. With Professor Irvin and the other like Storm Chasers training. Cougarin City, Amberite Town. I never found one of these guys in Amberite Town. Diligence here, Sheridan Village, Cougarin, Dream District, right. Okay. Just curious is all. Venom, is that you? Wait, don't go. Dad, is that you? No, it can't be. Wait, please don't go. No, I'm chasing nothing. That's not my dad. That's not Venom. But why am I seeing them here? Wherever here is. real quick before we... I don't think so. I'm just messing around with the flowers and the trees just in case. I just doubt it does anything. Just curious. You know how Jane kind of, adds a little hidden stuff here and there. Doesn't hurt to check it out and see just in case. And now here you are, Aaron. You've been waiting for me, huh? Why did you guide me here? Who are you really? You catch on quick, but you really just make it so easy. Make it too easy, sorry. You stupid Doulard. Doulard? Oh no, not you too. Melanie. Hello, love. Care for a cup of tea? It's fresh off the kettle. What are you doing here? I thought I got rid of you. Goodness gracious, they don't teach you Doulards anything in school anymore. Don't you even know how overlapping works, you idiot? I only know as much as I've been told. I overtook you back at Black Steeple. Exactly. You took on my spirit, my person, my being. That doesn't mean I'm gone. It just means I'm hidden within your subconscious. I bet that woman in the mask didn't even know that simple fact. So, there's not really a lot I can really, say with that. Spoiler-wise, but... I mean, I guess I could, in a sense. Well, it's not really spoilers, but... I mean, I guess I can make it a slight spoiler thing just to talk about it, because, why not? Yeah, I guess we'll do a slight spoiler rant here. It shouldn't be super long, but I do want to talk about it, so... If you don't want to listen, that's totally fine. Go to the comment section below, so... Yeah. Okay, we are in spoiler territory. If you don't want to listen, that's totally fine. I think this part is really interesting because, again, and I know I've gotten comments about this before where, I've gotten things here and there how, I hype up Madam X too much, and, I wanted to, correct what I said in the past about certain things. I'm not saying she's immortal or invincible or this, unstoppable being. I don't believe that at all, but I'm just saying with where she is compared to many characters within the story, she's easily one of the most strongest characters within the game. I'm not saying she outright is the strongest or anything like that, but she definitely is, a large threat, is where I was trying to get at back then whenever I kind of talked about certain stuff with Madam X. I don't remember the exact episode it was, or episodes, I should say, but no, yeah. I'm not saying she's all knowing, and all everything and yada yada yada. I'm not trying to say that, but again, I don't think it's right to, excuse and say she isn't this, powerful being either, But at the end of the day, I do agree she probably is, a woman that really wants to, bring the world down to her knees. I think that's a line that's been said within the story, and what her ultimate goal is, I don't know with certainty, but I do believe to some level she wants to, do something with, again, bringing, how do I want to word it? Bringing down, I think more so Varia herself in a sense. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's more so Indra, but you know what? No need to go on that rant. That's a whole different spoiler thing. Back to this. I think it's interesting that, Melanie pointed out there, hey, didn't you go to school about this? Why don't you know about these kind of things? Well, whatever. Even the masked woman probably didn't even know this, which, again, kind of like what Nastasia said on the ship, going back to that line, where she said that, there's something that I can do that Madam X cannot do, and then she paused and then stopped talking, which tells me there are limitations to her. Despite her being, very strong and very menacing, she has weaknesses. She has issues. There are things that she needs people for. You can have all the strength and power in the world, but at the end of the day, that means nothing if there are certain things that you cannot do to, get to your goals. It's like she brought up before, you know, as one person, we're nothing, but together, we're something, And she brought up the whole rant, like, Matalis about, like, unity is the strongest thing that we have. Without it, like, we're nothing. I think is pretty much what she was trying to, like, say to Matalis when she kept, like, screwing up over and over. Because, like, even Madame X herself understands and knows I have limitations. I don't want to admit to it because, I'm strong, I can do this, I could do that. But unfortunately, yes, I have limitations. Whether she does or doesn't want to admit it. And I feel like a lot of the time she doesn't really want to, but see, that's a tricky thing, because like I feel like there's like lines with her that she's like, she doesn't really feel like she needs anybody, like she could just do it all herself. But I guess that's just her just being like angry and like grr at the world and whatnot. But the reality of it is she knows it all too well that she cannot do it alone, and that's why she needs a team. I feel like I worded that all weird, but back to this though. It's a really cool thing to witness and see. Even, not only Anastasia pointing that out, but Melanie as well pointing it out from a different perspective, that even she herself doesn't know everything. And, it kind of goes with my spoiler rants here and there about Madame X. I feel like to some level she knows what's going on, but again, she doesn't understand the full picture. And it's weird with her because like there's moments that she's like knowing things and saying things that we don't even know about, but even she herself doesn't know everything. Which again, it goes to shows that just because she has a lot of power behind her, it doesn't make her all-knowing. It doesn't make her, the most strongest being on the planet. She has limitations. She has weaknesses. Really interesting to kind of like see that overall. Okay, I'm done with my rant. We'll stop there. Alright, enough of that. We're out of spoiler territory. But can you really blame her? It's not like there's an extensive knowledge about this sort of thing, love. That's the burden of being an outlier. You always learn things you aren't supposed to. You're part of my subconscious now? Oh god, no. You think you have it bad? I'm the one here who has to sit here and watch you make stupid decisions. It's been a while since that happened. Why are we just interacting now? You took a nice hit in the head from some lady with a cap. After that building blew up into bits, the explosion caught you off guard, and she took that opportunity to whack. What happened after that? I'm in the dark there too. Guess you're still unconscious? I'm here to wake you up. So that's kind of like an interesting thing that it's not really like a spoiler rant, but just to touch on what she said earlier. Because like even like herself, she was like, well, despite, the masked woman not really knowing these kind of things, it's okay. I get it. It's not like, again, you go to school and all of a sudden you pick up a book all about overlapping and you learn, the entirety of all of that. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of like an interesting thing like she brought up there as well. So despite her teases and, jabbing Emilia and, Madame X, she even is like, yeah, despite, you guys knowing it, whatever. It's not like you're meant to know anyways. But that one line as well, her saying like finding out things that you're not meant to, that's something that's also really interesting as well. I can't really say a whole lot about it. I could talk a little bit more, but I'll leave it at that for now. It is just an interesting comment to, hear from her. Guess you're still unconscious. I'm here to wake you up. You're here to help me. Why would you ever want to help me? Especially after what I did to you. You stupid doulard, you idiot dumbface. Did you not hear me when I said that you overtook me? I'm a part of you now. So if you kick the bucket, I will too. I have no choice in the matter. Trust me, if I had a way to gain back control, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But I'm forced to metaphorically, sit here and drink metamorphical tea while you screw around like an idiot. I don't want your help. I could do this on my own. Oh, really? As if you haven't had my help already. What are you talking about? Remember when Lavender was retelling the events about how Nim was behind all of this, sorry, and how she told you that Nim was after you in some way? What about it? Deep down, your true feelings, you felt a certain twist. You wanted to find Nim yourself and talk things through. A heart-to-heart, so touching it really is. But I couldn't have you risking your life for some tosser who can't even think for herself. So I did a little rearranging. Made you feel anger and determination. You messed with my emotions? I can't do it all the time, and frankly it takes a lot of energy out of me. But it was for the well-being of, well, I'd like to say you, but that would be lying. Now that we've had that settled, you need to wake up now. I'm not done talking. You need to... Well, I'm done speaking. Wake up now, you cow. And excuse me. And if I ever see you back here again, I'll murder you myself. Myself! Wake up. So before we click A, it's a really like interesting thing because like again, with Madam X not knowing the full extent of overlapping, it's a really cool thing because like, you know, she's not fully out of the picture, but she holds almost no power at all to Malia. She can alter things slightly, but again, by her doing that, it takes a lot out of her. And it's not like she could do it all the time. But in a situation with Nim, she was like, wait a minute. Crap. Let me put down the teacup real quick. I'm stopping this madness before you get yourself turned to stone. Or possibly worse than stone. Death itself. I can't have that happen. Because if you go, I go. And Melanie, despite her not having any sort of power at all, it's a really, well, like almost no power at all is what I should say. It's interesting that despite that, she would rather still live, but, you know, not have any control, than to just not exist at all. So it's a really interesting thing to kind of like think about. Wake up. And remember, help sometimes comes from unexpected places. I am totally going to be saving here. Huh? Oh, my head hurts. Man, talk about deja vu. This really, really sucks. Amanda. Oh good. Why am I not surprised? She took my Pokemon too. Of course, this is how things always go. What a mess I'm in, once again. You think you have me in a corner. I have something you're not prepared for, Amanda. Well, that backfired. Don't even think about using that power. It won't work. How do you know about that? Just sit still and behave. Answer me. How do you know about my power? Just who are you really? Amanda, why are you doing this? We've known each other for so long. I thought we were friends. Now, real quick, I want to read the dialogue a little bit first. I do kinda have a possible explanation on how she knows, and more so a better question, how she was able to stop the golden, light power, so I'll get into that once we read a little bit more. Alright, I'm back. Sorry for the pause there, I had to go take my dog outside. Anyways, fine, it's a waste of time holding on to friends that don't give a crap about you. So which is it then? Excuse me? Are you with Team Zen? Perhaps even Bladestar? You took trips to Grand Dream City all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. That doesn't concern you. I'm not a part of Bladestar. See, now here's the interesting thing. Because it's like... Well, real quick, before I do this, let's just keep reading for now. Oh, and would you look at that? I don't remember you being with us either. Oh, well. Hey, Madalis. What's going on? It's been a little while. Nautilus, just don't stand there. Come on. I believe these belong to you. My Pokemon, thank you. I'm actually really glad to see you right now. I mean, why wouldn't you be? My beauty is just that captivating, of course. Real quick, yeah, let me do another spoiler rant before we continue on, because there's a little bit that I do want to go over and talk about. So, as always, if you don't want to listen, that's totally fine. Go to the comment section below if you don't want to be spoiled, so yeah. Alright, we are in spoiler territory one final time. Somewhat heavy spoilers probably ahead, so if you don't want to listen, one final warning, go to the comment section below. Timestamps, yeah. Okay, so going to the very beginning. It's a very interesting thing where, you know, Malia was like waking up and she was like, you know, you think like you got me, but I'm, you know, much more stronger now. I have this golden light now. I can use it to get on out of here, but it backfired. It didn't work. Which again implies Amanda has always known about it, right? I would assume right to that. Why is that though? I go back to Kieran. The original Amanda is, again, locked up in a pod. Right? Yes, right. Also, I just realized, I don't know why I said again, because I don't think... Maybe on another episode I did mention that, but regardless, it doesn't matter. Yeah, the real Amanda, Jane's sister, is actually in a pod because of Clear and Kieran. So, the one that you see here, like, isn't Clear impersonating her? But, if I'm not mistaken, well, I mean, we're in spoiler territory, it's fine. She's some weird robot thing, if I'm not mistaken? Question mark? I don't really know. It's something like that. But, no, it's one of those things that, again, the original one is in the pod, and here's the, you know, impersonator here. Now, again, I talked about it before with Clear, like, she seems to also know quite a few things as well, but let me not focus on Clear too much right now. Let's go back to Amanda. It's a really interesting thing that, again, she knows about these kind of things, because to be fair, she's been watching, you know, probably giving like data to, you know, like Clear, like, is he going down the Renegade route, is he going down the Paragon route, you know, watching him get like the badges and whatnot, and yada yada yada. Like, Amanda's also like another tool for Clear to like see what the crew is doing as well, so it's smart on Clear to like do that as well, to create Amanda to like kind of like be like this friendly, you know, like poppy, cheerful kind of like girl, but nobody really suspects Amanda to not be Amanda pretty much. But anyways, why the why the archetype didn't work. Here's the thing that gets really interesting. I go back to, you know, the Garufin stuff, where originally, you know, they had test subjects for the archetype, right? To see who can possess, you know, power from the archetype itself. Some made it, some just outright died because they couldn't handle its power. If I had to guess, there has to be something with, you know, Clear, Amanda, having... I'm not saying like they're related to Garufins, maybe, well, not really like Amanda herself, but like Clear more than anything was able to like construct this, you know, thing within this room, similar to maybe some of like the experimental like rooms, where things kind of get drastic. They're able to like stop the archetype from going wild and crazy and whatnot. So I assume they have, you know, very similar technology within this room to make sure that, you know, she isn't able to fully use it, that whenever she does, it outright just stops it instantly. That would be my guess. Other than that, I have no clue, honestly. But I just go back to like the whole Garufin thing. I feel like it's something with that, because again, you learn that they are very highly, you know, intelligent. They have a lot of machinery, a lot of, you know, like tech you know, smarts and yada yada yada. I don't know how to really word it, but like they're very, very smart. They're way more advanced than the public has made them out to be, pretty much. Because a lot of people are like, oh, they're like an old civilization. While they were an old civilization, they were beyond advanced with technology more than, you know, today's world. So yeah, well, of course, you know, with like variety of Pokemon Rejuvenation, again, a lot of that stuff is kind of like hidden and whatnot, but you get the point. You learn throughout the game that they're not only like an older civilization, but they were highly intelligent, with like experiments and tests and yada yada yada. So that would be my guess. If it's not that, I'm not entirely sure how she was able to stop the archetype from like happening, unless it's a thing that, you know, Malia, like, I guess like just was in a state that she couldn't really use it, and Amanda just had like some sort of like advantage over that. But again, that would still like require some sort of like machinery or something with the factory to stop that. So yeah, I don't really know besides what I mentioned earlier. But another thing to get into besides all of that is Mattle's here showing up. It's a really like cool thing because, like, you know, Malia's like, okay then, Bladestar, Team Zen, what are you? And Amanda's like, alright, yeah, I don't care. I'm not Bladestar. But then Madeline says, but wait a minute, you're not Team Zen either. And pushes her. Which goes into what I said before about, you know, Clear and Kieran. I don't know, I'm not gonna go down the rant about like them being possibly being like double agents to like Madam X, like they work to benefit one another, but similar to what Clear and Kieran have done to others, they might just, you know, I don't know, throw Madam X to the curve, be like, yeah, I don't really need you anymore, whatever. Get on out of here, whatnot. I don't know how it's all gonna play out in the future, but I see it in a sense that, again, going back to Clear, she and even Kieran have brought it up before. We're not working with Team Zen. We just so happen to be business partners. Similar to Dr. Isha. Because Isha's like, hey, I help you. You let me do my experiments and you keep me protected? Cool. Win-win. I'm not going to be a part of your disorganized and terrible crappy team. I don't want to. Not going to. But we can at least have some sort of, you know, partnership. You know what I mean? And I feel it's the same thing with Clear and Kieran. And when they made, you know, Amanda, you know, like the robotic one here that you see, it's probably like a thing that she's like, yeah, I work for Clear and Kieran, not Team Zen. So that's kind of like that whole thing as well. So I don't know, just wanted to talk about that and give my thoughts on all of that. So we'll stop there for now. Alright, we are out of spoiler territory now. Looks like things didn't go your way this time, Amanda. It's not over yet. Oh, that's bold of you. Fighting 1-on-2? Seems like you have a marvelous amount of confidence. I'm ready to break that confidence if you are. I have work I need to do. But you know what? I think it's time for a me day. Breaking confidence is what I live for. Happy? Let's go. Houndoom, take her out. League Scout Amanda. Don't I have screens? Yes, I do. Let's get screens up, honestly. That's fine, honestly. Well, Porcencino. I guess just nature power in here should be okay. Well, that was a misplay. I mean, to be fair, Giga Drain, nature power, I guess like nature might have done a little bit more, but it didn't really matter. I just kind of wanted to get screens up and then just have one of them like take me out. Well, yeah, as you saw there, it didn't really do that much more than nature power there. Okay then. There we go. Now I can safely go in Yeah, I think diligence is okay. Let's go into you. Yeah, I kind of want to get rid of the Bronzong here, honestly. That breaks that. And then I could just go for Shadow Sneak here. Cool, cool. That's fine. Because then... You have Shadow Sneak, right? What is going on with you? Weird. I can't tell if it's trying to, like, say something. I think it's just a bunch of gibberish and numbers and letters. Well, it says original trainer Tempa. I didn't notice that from before. Maybe it's because it's Tempa's original Pokemon? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be that guy, just go for King Shield, just see what happens on the field. That's fine. Yeah, let's go after the Rhyperior. It's not gonna take it out, but I want to get damage on it. That did so much damage. I mean, I get it, it's a Houndoom and Sun. But that did a lot. Well, I should say specifically Mega Houndoom. Man, that did a lot. Let's go for the shield here. That's fine. Serena. Hetarine. I mean, I get it for coverage, but I wish I had a steel type move. It's a little bit risky, but let's go for SD here. Okay. Oh well, we're gonna be fine. I do want to save here, though. Losing means nothing. Okay, here we go. What's wrong? Feeling a little overwhelmed? I mean, of course you couldn't match our brilliance. We're top-notch, one of a kind? Well, at least I am. You done gloating? We won, so let's just leave. And then what? Let her walk around again? There's no way. She's coming with us one way or another. What are we going to do with her then? Let's go get the police. Real quick, if I'm not mistaken, I want to keep an eye on Amanda. Because doesn't she do something? She has no Pokemon left, there's nothing else she can do to harm us. I suppose you're right. Besides, I need to get to Grand Dream City ASAP. Listen, about that. Right. I said you're not getting away. What the? What are you? Do not fear, I am here. Am I going insane? What's even happening anymore? Not insane, just a witness to one of my greatest inventions. Eric, you're here too. In that case, do you know where here is? Huh? You don't know where we are? We're at the Ignis Ironworks, West Giron, I think it's how you say that. However you pronounce that. We're all the way at West Giron. How long have I been out for? That wench was nothing for the supreme Suckitron. All who get in my way shall be pulverized into smoothie dust. Eh? Is that her hat? What a lame hat. Disgusting. Right. I believe she's trying to say start your Avium League welcome. Welcome all to Avium. It's not over, Malia. Our roles aren't finished yet. Madalus, are you sure she isn't with you? There's absolutely no way. This girl's on a level of her own. You couldn't just sit still and behave. Now I have to resort to doing something I just really didn't want to do. Everyone stay back. Saki-tron will take care of this. What can that scrap of metal do? Just you wait and see. Saki-tron was made for combat. I wanna... Okay, so... It's not spoilers, but I just want to say it real quick. I'm gonna show both outcomes of this. There is a outcome where you can just lose and continue the story, or you can win and continue the story, but either or does alter the dialogue. So on this one, I'm going to just lose purposely to her to go through the entire thing with her. And then the second one, of course, will continue on, and of course we do want to win against her, but yeah. Now, one final thing as well. I know I brought it up before on older episodes about doing Help Center request. If you have not done the Help Center request for West Garden City house set, the one with you and Saki-tron and Team AA, if you kind of missed out on that, then yeah, you kind of missed out on it. You can go back to an old save. You know, before all this goes down, as you're playing as a pro tag, you can fly to do the house set quest real quick, and then kind of, you know, continue onwards. But it's kind of up to you, but whether you do or don't do that does alter the story and dialogue and a certain scene that happens a little bit later within the story. So yeah, of course we did it. Well, I did it on this series, but if you didn't, then you will miss out on certain things unless you go back to redo it. So yeah, just a little bit of a warning there and a heads up for new players. Just you wait and see. Saki-tron was also made for combat. Yes, and I will send this demon back whence she came from. Battle mode initiating. Wait, I think I said the word wrong, not initiating, but whatever. So Malia, how about you control Saki-tron? What? I don't know how to use this thing. Hey, it's easy. Besides, I need other people to do some quick beta testing. I hardly feel like this is the appropriate time, but fine. Need to give you a rundown? I got this. Don't worry, I've got this. Okay, good luck. Just fight already. Now again, for this one, I'm just gonna purposely lose. I'm not intending to win this one. So I wanted to lose, and then I'll go through the dialogue that happens and probably, you know, talk about it quite a bit. So yeah. I bet you can't even tie your own shoelaces, you dummy idiot. I can too. Amanda feels defensive. Attack down, defense up. I'll just kind of speed this up. Now, just how are you going to top this move? I'm just going to keep taunting. I bet you can't even... Oh, we've already said that. Why won't you give up? Fall. You won't be able to win. How much more I need to hammer that idea into your head? Amanda's readying her special attack. Your hair looks nice today. Did you get it done? Thanks. I worked hard keeping up appearances. Amanda feels loved and cared for. Attack down, defense up. This is the end for you. All patched up. Okay, so we've already read that dialogue. Your mother smells like the underside of a Garbodor. It's not true. for a moment. Now, just how are you going to top this move? Let's taunt again. I don't know if there's any more dialogue choices at all, besides those three. Oh well, there's this. I ain't even gonna say that out loud. I'll tank every hit you do, is what she said, I think. Okay, here we go. Malfunctioning, too much damage. Oh no, Sakitron! Don't you see? This outcome was decided at the very beginning. Goodbye, Sakitron. This is the end for you. Eric? No, Sakitron! Don't grieve for such a worthless contraption. As I said before, this result was decided before the battle even began. Why are you doing this? You asked me that question before and I didn't answer then, so why should I pity you now? Here's an idea. How about we just use our Pokemon to destroy you? Assuming this blue-haired twerp has a full team, we have 18 to run you over with. That's what I thought. So if you would be so kind and answer the girl, she asked you a question. Your threats mean nothing to me, but I shall humor you. Now, real quick, again, with this part, I really suggest that whether you're playing it on your own or watching this, that you really, like, listen to this or, you know, again, read it very carefully. So it is very interesting stuff that's about to be said. I'm doing this because that was my design. It's my reason why I was created. The reasoning is nothing more complicated than that. Your only purpose was to keep me captive. There has to be more. But of course, why would my creator create me to look like this girl? What benefits would they acquire this way? The League. That's correct. Amanda co-owns the Pokemon League administration in this region. Haven't you ever wondered why the League is so poorly ran? Why do you think the Fairy and Dark leaders are still unavailable? Why it took so long for the normal leader to replace you? Why I chose such a mediocre and talentless trainer to replace Alita at Sheridan Village? Every change that has been done has been overridden and modified by me. But you still haven't answered my question. Why are you doing this? What is the end goal? All of this is, of course, to reverse Celine's plan. Now, well, okay, let me just keep reading first. Celine? To gain control, that's our end goal. When my creators believe that it's time for them to shine, the League won't be able to do anything about it. And that's because the damage I've done would have rendered them useless. My lord, how long has this been going on? Shortly before Alon returned to the region. See, that's such like an interesting thing. Alright, I'm back. I had to get some water because I started dying, but, right. Let me keep going. Alon, what do you mean returned? Is this not Alon's first time in Avium? I'm sorry, but that's enough questions for today. I only need one of you. The rest can... So, okay, I will stop there. And let's do another spoiler rant, because there's a lot to unpack and talk about, so... yeah. Okay, we are in spoiler territory. one final warning, go to the comment section below. There are going to be pretty heavy spoilers, so you've been warned. Okay, so go into the very beginning where Amanda's like, you know what, it doesn't matter. I've already won, I haven't really lost, don't really care what you do, but I'll humor the idea on why I'm doing this. She goes into the whole thing about the league itself. Why am I doing this? Use your brain for a moment. And then it clicks. The league itself, you co-own it. You yourself, you know, are causing a lot of mayhem and issues and weakening its foundation. And she's like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I've been programmed to do. All to reverse Celine's plans. Now that's an interesting line there. Celine. Celine is the original champion of the Avian League. Unfortunately, things happened to Celine. You learn that, you know, she got into a battle with Madame X at the top of, what is it, Mount Ruin or whatever it's called, on top of that volcano area. And it is said that Madame X or Celine could not beat one or the other. It was a draw. But there wasn't, you know, it didn't come without casualties. Celine lost an arm and a leg. She had to get, you know, the black shard prosthetics for, again, you know, her arm and leg that I would assume got chopped off by the sword, if I had to take a guess. But there were issues, there were casualties, there were, you know, things that she lost. By doing that, you know, and other things going down, she's encased herself in stone, well, not stone, sorry, the crystal thing and whatnot, and she's out of the picture now, which makes Alexandra, I believe, the current champion as of now. So with Celine now, again, out of the picture. Now again, despite Celine, you know, not being in the picture right now, she's created this team, this organization, the League. 8 people within the Elite 8. 18 gym leaders ready to go if the event that something bad happened, you know, happened. If something happened to her, she knows that things are going to be okay. But here's the problem. Amanda, she's trying to undermine that idea, undermine her goal, the dream, you know, like the dream team. She's undermining it. Why? I mean, sorry, that's my chair. She brought it up before that, whatchamacallit, oh goodness, what was it again? Let's see. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, why did I blank on that? With, what was I trying to say again? With like undermining and whatnot. Right, clear and whatnot. Okay, so like again, like with Celine like out of the picture, like it undermines everything. Like, why do you think everything's like so disorganized? It's because like I, Amanda, am like a co-owner of the League now. You know, Celine and possibly Amanda, well, not really Celine. Well, Celine might have known about Amanda, like the original Amanda, before, you know, again, she got thrown into the pod by Clear and Kieran to like undermine things and whatnot. But even like Alexandra was like, oh, it's fine, like you're doing good, or yada yada yada, you're trying your best. And unfortunately, you know, Alexandra, you know, like many of us, have been fooled by Amanda herself, that in reality she's doing this purposely to, you know, make things more disastrous, because once it gets to the point of no return, that things are way too weakened, it causes them to unravel, you know, Celine's goal. And when the time is right, they will come back. They will do things. Now, what is that though? What is the end goal really? Like, forget Team Zen, forget, you know, Blade Star, Amanda herself, Clear, Kieran. To me, more and more that I play this game, there has to be more to it. What is the end goal? Like, I do believe to some level, because like again, like Clear and Kieran mentioned it before, that, whatchamacallit, well, more so like Kieran is the one, like, let's cause mayhem, let's cause destruction, like, this is, like, their goal, like, I want to, you know, cause oblivion to happen. That's the road, or the renegade route, that's the road that we're walking, that's what we need to do. But that's the thing that makes me so confused, is, okay, you're going for oblivion, is it just, does destroy it to destroy it, or is there more to it, you know? Is it just simply a thing that it's like, if we undermine it, then they can't stop us? Is that just saying, you know, them, you know, using Team Zen as a pawn to just like wipe the floor of everything, and then Clear and Kieran like come out in the end like, hey, look, you missed the bishop over there. Whoa. And then like, you know, like the bishop just slides across the board, you know, and like does what it needs to do. I don't know. I don't know, man. Because like, it's weird with that, because it's like, I don't know with certainty, because it's like, are they just trying to use Team Zen as like, you know, like pawns on the board itself, you know? Is that what they're trying to do? Is it, you know, a whole, you know, goal of just like taking over and whatnot? But it can't, like, it can be that, but it also can't be that, because like the end goal is oblivion, to wipe out everything. At least that's what is told and said, but is that actually true? I don't know. You know, and I've always also had this idea, what if it's simply a thing that, again, let's just go with the idea, Clear and Kieran are part of the group and stuff and whatnot. Amanda is like, again, this weird robotic thing, and it makes sense. Somebody of like, you know, Garufan, you know, heritage would, you know, probably be able to make this monstrosity here, right? What if it's simply a thing that it's like, hey, we create Pokemon Rejuvenation, right? But here's the deal. Old Earth took a lot of casualties. A lot of issues happen. What if it's a thing that Variety's like, hey, okay, they got their own thing, they're doing their own thing, but we gotta undermine it. But when they're too weakened, we can kind of just come on back and take over, and we can live in this new world without them, and we can continue our own thing, do our own experiments, because, you know, they're all going to be, you know, good and whatnot, and they're not going to take us lightly to just come on in and like just take it over. What if that is a potential end goal for Varia? Is, oh look, things were a little bit shaky, a few games didn't work out, but this one looks promising with the word karma. If it works out, then hey, look, our ruined old Earth, we don't need it anymore. We can just simply come to this one here, Pokemon Rejuvenation. We're just chilling, we're vibing, and I mean, like, I know that's like a random idea to throw out there. I don't know if it's necessarily that, but it's an idea. But going back to the Clear and Kieran thing, it's a very interesting thing with Amanda. It's just, I don't, like, I feel like I'm kind of on the right track. I really feel like I am, but I'm just not there. And that's the problem that I have with my mind. I'm not there. And even going to that one line, you know, afterwards, from all of that, you know, our plans came to be, it started to happen when Alon returned to the region. And that's such an interesting thing. Now you may be wondering, why? How? The black box. Remember when Crescent was desperate during V13.5, she explained that to bring them back to life, she had to use like the black box and whatnot, and brought them back. Unfortunately, that black box wasn't just a normal black box that she got from Clear and Kieran. The black box, again, it happened. Varia appeared afterwards being like, hey, yeah, the headaches are gonna suck, aren't they? But hey, new potential, you know, person. You're great. I love you. You're wonderful. You're perfect for what I need. You're gonna be my interceptor. And of course, the real Alon, or the real protag, is like, nah, I want to stay dead. I don't know who you are, why are there so many voices in my head, and yada yada yada. And she's like, okay, calm down, I get it. How about this? We have the power, somebody else plays as you. Cool? And then the protag's like, yeah, whatever, sure, do it. I don't want to be here anymore. And she's like, okay, cool. You're my interceptor. I got kind of what I wanted. You might have some trauma and some things might, resurface, but hey, is what it is. But for now, 50% power, somebody else plays as you, and then it continues on. You might be thinking, okay, the pro tech has something to do with this. To an extent, yes and no. I think it's more so just a signal from the black box being activated itself is what caused, the plan to like go, and move forward pretty much. Because like, think about it like this. Clear and Kieran are like playing 3D chess, right? Everybody's like playing chess and checkers, but they're playing it smarter than most people right now. I want to place a bet that when Crescent went after Clear and Kieran and she won against them, she got the black box, I'm going to place a bet they wanted to lose. They didn't care if they win. They didn't need to win that battle. They were like, oh no, we lost. Crap. Alright, take the black box, whatever. And then Crescent activated it, which made it, because like she wanted Alon back, the Protect back, they kind of were like, in the background, like, oh, boo-hoo, we lost. And then they're like, in reality, like in their mind, they're like, yes, 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 yeah. Because again, the Protect, they've seen different scenarios they've had against, since they can go through like different times and dimensions and whatnot. Because like you see her going in and out of those like portal things and whatnot. Same with like Kieran on the surfboard. They know about us, and with Crescent doing that, they're like, hey, this is good. The Interceptor is here. This is great news for us, because on the off chance that they go down the Renegade route and how, great they're going to be down the line, it's perfect. We can't lose. But if they go down the Paragon route, it's still okay. I don't think we're going to lose. But again, their goal was to at least bring back the Interceptor, the one that can decide where to tilt things from good to bad. So in my mind, I would place, well, again, I might be wrong on that, but I would have placed a bet that Claire and Kieran potentially did not care if they won or lost. They wanted Crescent to win, take the black box, activate it, because by doing that, it gets the ball rolling. With everything else now, with, taking over Amanda, taking over the league, building, like the robot thing and yada yada yada, and, Rejuvenation just playing out as Rejuvenation. Whether they win or lose, it doesn't matter. They're fine losing pieces. As long as, the king is still standing, the fight is not over. And they know that. They have shown it, that they're fine with losing pieces. Look back at, the very ending of V13.5, where Cosme and Comet were like, hey, what's up, guys? And then they were like, we don't really need you. Sorry, not sorry. You're worthless now. We don't really care about you. They're fine losing pieces. They're fine with doing that. It's okay. You need to lose pieces in order to progress the game. And right now, I really think those two are really playing, 3D chess compared to most players on the board right now. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. But that's how I feel and see about it. But to be fair though, while they're playing, like 3D chess, we have Araya out here playing like 4D, 5D chess, whatever, like dimension stuff like works and whatnot. Because she's the one that's like, practically like orchestrated everything here pretty much within Pokemon Rejuvenation. So it's kind of like that saying from like Qui-Gon, there's always a bigger fish. So yeah, very interesting talks though on this part of the story. I'll leave it at that for now, because again, I can go on and on forever about these kind of things, so we'll leave it at that for now. No. What? I thought... Sakitron? I won't let you hurt my friends. Sakitron, wait, let me help. I can help. It's okay, Eric. I don't know if this is really the most appropriate music for this scene. I thought they would have had different music here, but okay. This is what I want. Thank you for being my friend. Eric, we have to go now. No. Let go of me. Sakitron, don't do it. I'm I'm sorry, Eric. It's not worth getting obliterated for a piece of metal. Let's go. No. Now, of course, if you do continue the game while losing there, the one hidden scene that I mentioned earlier, you won't be able to see it. You have to win the battle, just a heads up. But again, I just wanted to show that scene without winning first, and then I'll reload the game and show what happens when you do win. Eric, I'm really... Well... Bye, Eric. So what about you, Matalus? What are you going to do now? I haven't thought this far ahead yet, so... I don't really know. Matalus, why did you help me out? Is it just because you guys need me to? No, that's not it. I did it because I wanted to? I saw you get dragged off by Amanda, and for some reason I couldn't just let her do that. Perhaps it was mere curiosity. I don't even know. Sounds like you just really wanted to help out. That's a joke if I ever heard one. Anyway, I would love to stick around and chat, but I gotta get back to Grand Dream City. Aaron and the others were caught in that blast. I need to find out if they're okay. Don't bother, I got a report from Nastasia a while ago about teaming up with Alon and Co to save some of their friends. Alon? Team up with Team Zen? It's not likely. Though I guess you and I teaming up is just as unlikely. But did she mention who she was saving specifically? No, in fact, the report was quite vague and was sent through a secret channel, almost as if she didn't want her to know. Is Nastasia doing another... whatever. If you want to catch up with her, she's on her way to the Ischia Pyramid, however you pronounce the name of the pyramid, which is north of Zone 0. Zone 0, isn't that in the Badlands? I have no idea how I'll get there, but I guess I'll help you get there too. I'm already here. Wait, seriously? You're not planning anything weird, right? No, and Zone 0 is as far as I'll take you. Deal? After that, I don't know where I'll go, perhaps back to the city. You got a deal, Matalus. Thank you. Let's move then. Alright, now we'll go back and actually win as Sakitron. Alright, we're back. So, I got this, don't worry, I got this. Okay, good luck. Just fight already. I'm gonna be real, it's been a minute since I've done this. Initiating Saki Tank Engine. For a moment. I guess I could just speed it up though. I'll tank every hit you've got. Initiating Saki Tank Engine. I guess we'll keep going on the offense. Okay, special attack. Honestly, I'm just gonna keep going. Oh, sorry. I guess you have to click A for that. This is the end for you. Bash into pieces. Okay, 390. Just go for it again. I forgot if you could just like spam this and you are more than fine with winning. I don't know actually. About to find out. EMP. Tap over 3 turns. Okay. EMP wore off. Do that again. This is gonna hurt. Is that the Puppet Master sound? Kinda sounds like it. Okay, 230. Do that again. Yeah, I guess honestly you could just keep going for that and be fine. I don't want to speak too soon, but It looks like we're doing okay so far. But I know this is probably gonna hurt. 150, 170. Okay, so it's gonna get pretty close. But I think we'll be okay. Let's see. Ah, okay. It was pretty close, but no. Okay. Let's see. Let me redo that again. So maybe some of them... I forgot exactly how I went about this battle, though. Maybe some of them you do have to, like, block and whatnot. Maybe. Okay, let me redo this. So, let's just go for this again. Okay, I want to do that again. Right, so here comes the one attack. Let's go for the defensive position. I still did a lot. Okay. See, like the hammer, I feel like it just doesn't do anything. And I feel like I was doing way better with just spamming this. Yeah, because like, I feel like I almost do nothing now. Okay, let's see. I mean, I know... I don't even know what I just did there. Attack down, defense up. See, like, I get like the attack goes down, but like, I don't want your defense higher though. That's the thing why I don't really like going for like taunting. Because it's like, you're already seem pretty bulky as it is. Yeah, I don't know what happened this game. It felt like just, again, going for this just did better for me. Yeah, let me just do what I did before. Alright, let's do this again. Okay. Okay, the attack is coming on. Let's go for block. 560, 730. I guess maybe whenever it's just going for that attack, just go for the defense then. Maybe. 630, 470. Block here. 570, 470. Okay. Let's go for that again. Do that again. For 7380. Go on to defense. 410, 380. Okay, so we're getting a little bit close here. Okay. 243.10. Okay, that's gonna do a lot though. Pretty close. Pretty close. Do that. Yeah, do that again. Okay. 150, 200 block. Where am I at now? 14200. Okay. No, here we go. I have to do it here. That should be enough, right? Right, okay, cool. So yeah, I guess like you have to like go on the defense when that attack happens and then just keep going for that move. I forgot exactly what the other ones do. I don't know if they have like effects or not. I don't quite remember. I mean, I would assume like the tank just does the most amount of damage, but the other ones, I don't know if they have like side effects or not. I don't know honestly, but what matters is we got the win here. And I have to make sure to save. And I'm gonna try to say what she says, because like on the second part of this, if you do win, it's very glitchy with her speech, but I'll try to say it. I think she's trying to say I can't go on right here. Warning, bodily functions fading. Seek user Z. Now, seek user Z. I'm trying to... Who is user Z? I don't know why the only person I could think of with the letter Z in this game is Zumi. Who am I forgetting? Alright, sorry for the pause there, I'm back now, but user Z, I'm trying to... I don't remember. I honestly don't know. Seek... Excuse me. User Z. You all got lucky. Sakitron, ult her away and finish this. Aye aye, ulting. Saki drill? Wait. Yes, I'm saving. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, I had to get some water. I started dying some more from coughing and whatnot, but I do like the music, because it's a little bit more slowed down. But anyways, okay, so she's making a bunch of noises, but we've beaten you, Amanda. It's over. Can we even call this monstrosity Amanda? No, this isn't her. I'm sure of that. Does it matter if I were real? The real thing or not? Make no mistake, I am nothing more than a fabrication, a decoy. Who made you? What was your purpose? Isn't that clear already? Now, well, if you know, you know. I think that's something that was intentional, by the way. I'll leave it at that. What other purpose could one like Amanda have? You're referring to the League's management, right? Ever wondered why things always seem so shoddy and shambles? Why some positions were never refilled? Why some leaders weren't available? Every decision ever made in regard to the League status were... Oh, welcome to the overridden by me. What could you gain out of doing something like that? Control the power of the region. Undo plan. Now, if you remember, if you don't, now again, this is why I'm showing both scenarios. That's why if you go for the scenario, or just want to like check it out. Alright, sorry for the pause there, I had to UPS guy drop off a package. I had to go get it. But anyways, right, okay, so like the first one that we went through where you lose a Socketron, it's now I'm not gonna explain her. I already did on the spoiler rant, but I could at least say the name because it is mentioned on that dialogue bit there where Amanda wasn't all destroyed. She mentioned the name Celine, so you can guess that if you do win and see this little like name that's like crossed out, you can assume that she's saying undo Celine's plan. Now, if it's a different name, it literally could be any name. Literally anybody. But just taking a wild guess and learning what the first one said, you can pretty much almost confirm that she's trying to say Celine, but it's marked out there by the dollar signs and percentages. Undo blank's plan. To put the pieces in the right place. So when our time comes, resistance, disorganization, chaos. How long has this been going on for? Tell me that. Shortly before Alon arrived in this region. Alon? Shortly before the sinking of the SS Oceana then, their return signaled the beginning of our plans. What do you mean by their return? Are you saying that Alon's been to Avian before? Sorry, but I've said history of Avium. Enough. I'm pretty sure what she's trying to say is I've said enough about, you know, Avium's history. Like, I'm not saying any more than that. Amanda, when all the pieces fall into place, our time will come. My defeat and destruction was destined from the very beginning too. All of us are just stepping stones for an even greater destiny. And when your time comes too, Malia, only then will you understand. Let's leave. Staying here will make us feel worse. Yeah. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about that as well. I know I went over most of it within, you know, the first segment, but I do want to do like another like spoiler rant on all of that. So if you want to listen, that's totally fine. Go to the comment section below. So yeah. So we are in spoiler territory. If you don't want to listen, again, one final warning, go to the comment section below, timestamp, yeah. So it's honestly something that is, you know, a really intriguing and interesting thing with both scenarios. Like they both say very similar things, but kind of different things as well. But it's very, very similar. But it's just something with that final like line that she said, like, hey, we're just stepping stones. I was meant to be destroyed. I was meant to lose. I'm fine with this. It's okay. I'm just a piece in this 1,000-piece puzzle. I was meant to be cast away. I was meant to be destroyed. However you want to word it, it was meant to happen. And it goes back to what I said before with, again, while there are players within the game that are playing chess really well, you know, 2D chess, 3D chess really well, you have to look at the best player of them all, Varaya, with creating Rejuvenation. She's created this complex puzzle, this complex game that she's just on top of everything, you know? And I believe with Amanda saying that, because again, I'm wording my words weird, but again, try to, I can't speak today. But again, like I mentioned before, you know, again, this is all predetermined. It's all predestined by Varaya herself. And I, again, like, even like Amanda, like, even confirms that in a sense, because she's like, It's destined. I was meant to lose. I know this. But once the dust settles, once everything unfolds, even your destiny yourself, you will learn that you are just stepping stones. That's all you all are. Sooner or later, just like me, you're going to be used as a piece on this chessboard. And I think that goes back to what I said before as well, that I believe to some level, whether it's Clear Cure, Madam X, or whoever, some of these people know things. Maybe not the full extent or the full story, but they know things. And they themselves understand that within this game, I'm just a pawn with, Variah. I'm just a piece. That's all it is. It's her story. It's all predetermined. If they if if the entire goal is, let's just say, clear Kieran, maybe even Madam X as well. I don't really know what Madam X honestly, but let's stick with clearing Kieran for now, and let's just say Madam X is like an addition to the idea potentially. The reason like I say that is like I feel like to some level, again, it wouldn't surprise me if Claire and Kieran are like, again, like they're doing like this partnership with Madam X, but to one day, like again, like cast her aside when they no longer really need her in Team Zen anymore. So yeah, whether I'm right or wrong about that, I don't really know. But regardless, well, now when I say that, whether they actually are successful with casting her aside, that I don't know, because with how powerful she is, I don't know. They might in their mind think, "Oh, it's gonna be fine. We'll be cool," and then Madam X is like, "No, I could see it going both ways. That they, come out on top, or Madam X comes out on top. I can see either or. But regardless, um, sticking to clearing Kieran for now, because we don't know the true goal. Well, to be fair, we don't know any of their goals. But let's just say with clearing Kieran, you kind of have an idea that they want Oblivion, right? The Renegade route. That's the goal. I believe like with Amanda and whatnot, she understands her roles. They understand their roles. Even like they said, even the Interceptor during the Renegade route brought it up before. Yeah, I'm gonna be cast away too. We're all gonna die. We're all stepping stones as well, He didn't exactly word it like that, or he or she, whoever you're playing as, on the Renegade route. But again, like it's for them. Or for two people. I forgot exactly what he said at the very end. I think he said for them, whoever you play as the protag, when you talk to like M2 at the very end of the story, or of like, the Renegade route. But like it even like goes to shows like even I'm a piece that's going to be sacrificed. I know that. It's fine. It's normal. It's meant to be this way. And if that is, their only way that they think and feel is the way to unravel what, you know, Varia's done with, controlling everything, creating like this elaborate story and predetermining everything, then I get it. They're just going to destroy it, unravel it, that nothing can stop her. Because like think about it for an example. The League, right? She's outside, she's like, oh hey, I'm talking about like Varia, like, oh hey, I'm chilling and vibing. Wait a minute. Who's going up against my game of rejuvenation? Wait, what? What the? No, 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 no. Talon, come here. Sorry, bro. We're gonna get out the water bucket. That's like a little like meme thing that I think like the rejuvenation people did on like their thing for a while with like the water bucket thing. I assume that's connected with Talon with like the tears or whatnot, but regardless, whatever it is, um, I, I think that's what it has to do with. But regardless, I'm grabbing the water bucket. You're gonna fly and cry, Talon. Go stop him. He's doing wacky things. I don't really like it. The system is gonna kind of like, mess you up, but it's for the greater good. We gotta take care of the Interceptor. He's getting a little scary, kind of doing some wrong things. I don't really like it. Do your own thing. Talon then loses. Varia's like, crap. Whatever. Alita, you're next. Whatever. But then like we start like again like unraveling the story. We try to get rid of Venom, but it didn't turn out to be Venom. Venom, sorry. Amber was the one that sacrificed herself. And then you see the whole thing with like Tesla, like, wait a minute, why can I remember her name? I should know her name, but I don't. And that's again when you go down the renegade route, like you're unraveling this game from, you know, like the seams and whatnot. And on the renegade route, I would have to safely assume to some level Varia doesn't want that. But on the Paragon route, it's different because I go back to, like I brought up before, and a viewer like confirmed it to me from when Jane did a Q&A a while back. I believe there's going to be like different endings, like a true ending, a good ending, a bad ending, and probably a worst ending. If I had to guess, I don't know if it's exactly going to be like 4 different, you know, endings. It could be 5, it could be 2, it could be 27. I don't know what Jane has in store for this game, but let's just say 4 for now. Um, did he mention 4? I don't remember. I don't really remember, but that would say, for like an example, that there is a way to get a true ending. Which, if I had to guess for a true ending, it's, you know, doing everything good, stopping Team Zen, and also gaining free will from Varia. A good ending, if I had to guess, is like you stop Team Zen, you do this and that, but Varia is still in control, and the cycle really isn't ever broken at all. The bad ending, probably, you know, the Renegade route, is at the cost of stopping Varia in this whole game and whatnot, is just the total obliteration of everything. And then the worst ending is probably just like everybody dies, or is just, it's just the worst of the worst that you can do. Now, here's the deal though. I know I've gotten comments about it as well, and I'm not trying to paint a picture that Varia is like this evil menace and grr and evil and yada yada yada. I'm not trying to like paint a picture like that, but I'm just trying to say that right now, with everything being predetermined, nobody really has free will. I can understand why there's backlash and issues with people, and like people that know about Varia and whatnot want to stop that and, you know, stop this control, because she is a very unstoppable person at this given point. So, yeah. I don't know, because like I can't say she's good, I can't say she's bad. I don't know. What I do know is she's in a very, very good position, and she's outplayed everyone so far within this game. So, and that goes, that's not even like explaining the multiple games and versions and trials and back and forths and goods and bads that she has done throughout this, you know, game and whatnot. Because like you see it within like the obelisk itself, that there's a different timeline where things didn't go right. But what if there's a time again, like what was her name again, V? Like she brought up herself, like I was an interceptor from this time, from the one missing children side quest, if I'm not mistaken, and somehow she's here within this version or whatnot. Like it shows that there's been different games, different versions, and Varai's trying to find the perfect one. But here's the deal: why? Why the perfect ending? Why? Why does it matter? Okay, you get the perfect ending. You get the best karma, the best outcome, the best friendship points. Team's end is done. Yada yada yada. Okay, you do that. It's all said and done. And then what? What do you gain from that? Is it just, you know, the pure joy of, oh, hey, I won. You did so good. Now replay it again. Is that it? Is it another situation that, like, let's just say, for example, like, Team Z, they're trying to stop stop, you know, Indrid and yada yada yada, Storm 9, or maybe trying to cause Storm 9 to get things to go and to, you know, get Varia and Indrid and yada yada yada. I don't really know if all of that, but let's just keep it simple. Let's just say it is. Varia is one of the big goals that they have in mind. Um, is it just like a thing like similar, like they knew what happened with Old Earth and they're like, we have to stop this? Like she has like done so many different things, and now that we're in this predetermined game, we have to stop that? Is it that? And then after that, it's just all sunshine and rainbows for what Team Zen wants to do? Because again, they said it before, if we don't capture Malia, if we don't stop it with her and get that light and whatnot, it's game over. It's going to set us back majorly. We need her. And it's almost as if like they need that to make it come true. But again, like it, okay, it, and this is where it gets into like confusing territory with me. It makes me wonder, is it for good or is it for bad? Like, okay, like we do this, we get the light, we stop everything, but and then what? Like you just go to oblivion and that's it? I don't believe that for Team Zen specifically. For Clear and Kieran, I can see it. But for Madam X and Team Zen and whatnot, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know, honestly. And that's the tricky part, because like I can see it both ways. That they're doing this because like, hey, you guys don't understand it. We have to play this role. Why? Because Variety made it that way. We don't have a choice in the matter. It has to be this way. And Madam X knows that. Why? The time diamond. I go back to what I said before, that when things go wrong, she's able to revert backwards. It's fine. Go back to, Golden Leaf Town. Not Golden Leaf Town, Goldenwood Forest, where you saw like the eyeball thing, and then the tree sort of shaking, and Malia, when she was like younger, was like, what's going on? And in my opinion, if I had to guess, like something bad happened, and Madam X was like, okay, great. I can't capture her right now, so rewind time, going back. And she even admitted to it. When things went bad and if we made a mistake, she had to revert it back with the time diamond to fix it. Why? Because again, she knows that with it being like a predetermined thing and whatnot, she has to make sure that we stay safe. We can't just die and whatnot. It can't be that way. I don't know. There's just so many confusing things with this game, man. And I feel like I'm overthinking it and overdoing it, but I just like to place everything on the table, all sorts of scenarios that it can be. I go back to what I said. I feel like to some level I'm somewhat on the right track, but I'm not fully grasping it. I'm not there. And I want to be there, but I'm not there. Well, that was a lot to say there. I don't know. There's just so many things with this game, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because, like, again, with Team Zen, Clear, Kieran, us, the pro tags, it, it, there's so many things, like, I get it, but there's so many things that's just like, I don't get it. I think we'll stop there for now. There's probably more that I can go into and can say, but I guess like to wrap it up, like I brought up before with the whole like Alon thing and the pro tag, with Amanda being like, all right, I'm back. Sorry for the pause there. I had to go do something, but right, I believe where I left off was Amanda, the pro tag and whatnot, where she like mentioned the whole thing about like when Alon like shortly arrived after is when our plans started to go. Similar to what I brought up on the first rant, tying it back to this one, just because of, the Interceptor now getting involved with everything, that's when everything was like, okay, full steam ahead now. Let's see if it tilts to good, bad, light, dark, renegade, paragon. So, yeah, and even going to, Malia, um, like she said towards the end, like once like you learn more about yourself and realize like who you are and what you have to do with the story and all this kind of stuff, only then will you like understand. And yeah, it's something that it's just a very interesting thing. And like with I getting in the picture, starting this whole train, you know what I mean? Malia getting that hint with what she's about to find out down the road with like the third layer. And there's so many things that she's probably still going to learn even within V14, 15, and 16. So there's still so many things that have not been said, but slowly but surely we'll get there. I don't know. I know I said we'll wrap it up, but I just want to summarize one thing real quick with Varai and Team Zen. I don't want to bring Claire and Kieran into the equation. Let me just put them to the side for now. Again, like with Varaya, like I said before, I'm not saying she's good or bad. I don't really know with certainty. All I know is just again what I know. She seems to be somebody with her and the other nations from older wanted to continue experimenting on Pokemon and souls and all sorts of things that she wanted to do. Arceus was like, "Grr, no, bad, evil, don't do that again." They said, "Oh, we won't." Psst, we're lying about it, by the way. Arceus caught wind of it. War happened, and they won, but there's so many casualties that happen, and pretty much with her now having the archetype and the other nations finding out what she's, doing and whatnot with the archetype, they try to stop her, which they kind of almost succeeded, but it was kind of too late because they killed one volunteer. Adrest was meant to be Zygarde. It didn't work out, but it still was enough for, the core, the AI supercomputer thing, the system, whatever you want to call it, um, was good to go with, the archetype's power and all the other volunteers. And now we have rejuvenation. So yeah, it's a really, really interesting thing with her. Again, I don't know if she's good or bad. All I know is she's playing 5D chess, and I guess we'll find out, sorry, her true intentions down the line. But again, like I said before, it's just a confusing thing with me because it's like, okay, let's say the Paragon happens, we win against Team Zen, and then what? I know it's stated that, free will is granted, but is that actually true? Can you really trust Varaya? Is that really it? I don't buy that. There has to be more to it, in my opinion. Maybe she's setting it up that she's meant to be, beaten. The core is meant to be done, and you just live with this beautiful world now that she couldn't have within Old Earth because of her past mistakes. Maybe that's all there is to it. Maybe there's more to it that she wants to continue these games over and over and over. I don't know. I just simply don't know about her. With Team Zen, I know I brought it up before that I'm really conflicted because I see both sides, but I go back to many different things that have been said within the story. Go back to the grunts, where they were like, if we don't get Malia, then it's over. We're doomed. Go back to, Sharon and Ellie, where she was like, we weren't meant to be here. I wish we were just somewhere else, but here we are now, something of the sort. And the different like dialogue pieces with different grunts and whatnot. Look back at the Chandelure quest, with our mom Nancy and in Emma's cave, where he wanted to see his mom for one final time, and he was like, we're not bad people. We may not like see eye to eye. We may have different objectives, but like we have a goal too. We have dreams. We want things to be better too, which again is also contradicted by Neve when he brought up that conversation with one of the other like um admins. I forgot who it was I was talking with him, but somebody brought it up like, is this really like the right place to make our dreams like happen, to create a better world? And Neve was like, it's the only place for that. It has to be here for his daughter and yada yada yada. All the admins, all the grunts, they know full and well that they are an evil organization. They are doing bad things, and I'm not ignoring that. There have been plenty of evil things that have like happened within Team Zen and what they've done to us and innocent people across the region. There's no denying that. I'm not saying they're not an evil team, but I go back to, again, something that I brought up on one of the early episodes and here and there throughout the series. I go back to an older anime that I watched many years ago. I think it's called like James Moriarty, the Patriot, whatever it's called, or however you pronounce it. That again, they, as brothers, have to play the role of the villain to create a better outcome for everybody. Whether that is the end goal of Team Zen, I don't know. I honest to God don't know. Because again, going back with Varaya, do they really have a choice? I go back to even like the quest where, you and what's that ranger's name? Crawley's mother? Oh goodness. Holly, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, anyways, when you go into the one hidden house, you see Kieran there, and you see like the Ouroboros, because remember with Malia, with the one thing within Golden Wood Cave, you saw the Ouroboros, and no, I'm sorry, she didn't see it. There was like a translator thing that like said like the Ouroboros will keep like eating itself, good and bad, something of the sort, and you re-see that there. But the interesting thing is, again, you see red and blue, but you don't see green. You don't see Zygarde. Because again, the host, Zygarde, he died. It was meant to be addressed next as a substitute, but it didn't work out. So within this game, it's not, balance. One or the other can win. And it just so happened that we are Paragon and Team Zen is like bad, Renegade. And going back to the whole like anime thing, like, do they look at it from their perspective? Like, look, if you guys have your way, you're too nice, you're too good, you guys are being played. But on the other hand, like it's two different extremes. Like it's like too good and too nice. Because like again, like our team, like I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be like super nice or anything like that. But from Madam X Team Zen's perspective, it's like you guys are naive. You don't understand anything. You don't get it. We understand it. You guys don't. But again, like going back to like the evil stuff and whatnot, it doesn't excuse that. But again, they like again, like do they really have a choice? Like if everything's predetermined, then it was already written, set in stone that they have to play the role of the villain. They have to. They don't have a choice in the matter. If everything's predetermined, as it is stated at the end of V13.5. So I don't know. And even with like Madam X, like even when during like the team, sorry, not the team son, during the Doom timeline, where she put down the sword and she's like, I cannot do this without you. I know that my name has, hurt many and affected, a lot of people's lives. I get it. I know it. But we have to work together here and now if we want to get out of this. And it was an interesting thing because like she's not apologizing for what she's doing. She's not being like, oh, I'm sorry. No, she's not doing none of that. She's saying, I understand it. You don't like me. You have every right to hate me. I killed your mom. I caused your dad to die, Malia. I've done terrible things. You can hate me. That's fine. But we have to work together to get out of this situation if we want to go back to our time. Which again goes back to the whole thing that there are limitations to her. There are issues with her. She understands it. She knows it. Whether she does or doesn't want to admit to it, the proof is in the pudding. There are things that she cannot do. I don't know. I don't know if, again, ignoring the whole Oblivion thing, like just put that to the side, put Clear to the side for a moment, just focus on Team Zen, the admins and all that kind of stuff. Like they do these things, they're trying to, again, like let's say like Nastasia's goal is to, find, Maria again and be friends with her. What if that's the goal? Madalis, probably something with, her sister or maybe something else entirely. Cassandra, she has this burning hatred for Tesla and Amber. Probably has something to do with, the fires that broke out within, oh goodness, Giran City when she used to live there when they were younger. And maybe a part of her goal is just to see them in ruins. Neve, his daughter. I, like Gira, like I'm sure he has like goals and whatnot too. Like all of them, and Zeta too. Like all of them in some way, shape, and form. I forgot exactly what Gira's goals. Actually, going back to that, I don't quite remember. But Zeta wanted to talk to Malia and like actually like understand her, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, besides the point, they all have goals. But here's the thing: if they go down the road of oblivion, that it's over, it's done, it's destruction, there is no more, then how did those goals even come to fruition? If it's already just set and done that it's oblivion, it's game over. Full steam ahead there. And that's where I get a big conflict in my mind. Is Team Zen's goal just oblivion? I think it's a part of it, Maybe it's like specifically for Varaya, Indra, something else entirely. I don't know. But if the goal is absolute oblivion, said and done, game over, then how do those goals like come to fruition? How? Is it, Amos Grotto that like they working towards, just absolutely resetting everything? But then again, it only works when there's one person at the center, right? Not all of the admins could like be there. Not all of the grunts can be there. Only one can stand at the center. I don't know. I I don't know. I'm conflicted with all of this kind of stuff. But that at the same token is why I love Rejuvenation, man. It's why I've enjoyed this game, because like I'm a heavy thinker, man. I overthink so many different things. And a game like this, like it is so fun just playing it throughout the years, just speculating, thinking, like just pondering and all sorts of different things about this game. It's just been a blast. And it goes back to what I said, on one of the episodes in the past, that while I'm excited to see this game from start to finish, it just sucks in a sense that one day it's going to be over and you're going to know everything pretty much, And it's not like, again, I think I brought up the reference that it's like a good TV show. Once you see it all, you can't just forget about it and restart it again. It's always going to be known, so I guess with everything in life, there's always positive and a negative, so yeah. I think we'll leave the spoilers there, though. Yeah. I'm not really sure what to make of what I just heard. I wouldn't worry about that for now. You'll get stressed. I'm already stressed, but I understand what you mean. Gotta look forward. What are you going to do now, Madalis? You're not going to try anything weird, right? Can it, princess? I don't have any intention of kidnapping anyone. That is an interesting line, calling her princess. I assume that's just a Madalis thing, just calling her that, but kind of a fun little thing to think about. Melanie was considered a princess. So yeah, kind of an interesting thing to say and think about. To tell you the truth, I don't know what I'm supposed to do anymore, especially after what happened at the Grand Dream Ball and Cassandra. Well, if you're questioning things, then do the right thing. Join our side, quit Team Zen, and leave that all behind. I'd call you insane, but you don't have the bigger picture, so I'll be nice. I don't have the luxury to just get up and quit like some people do. You think I want to run around like a buffoon? I could be working on more important matters. Like working on my astonishing beauty, of course. No, I'm stuck here. Whether... I didn't mean to skip that line there. Alright, sorry about that. No, I'm stuck here, whether I like it or not. I have too much on the line. Madalis, just what are you fighting for? Now again, it's something that... It's not really like a spoiler thing, but again, it's something that I touched on before many times. That, again, like, admins, grunts, deathwings, they don't have the luxury to just be like, alright, I quit. It's not that easy. Like, look at Sharon and Ellie, when Sharon was like, you see this? We have the mark of death. We have the X on us. You know what that means? We script too many times, it's over. And even Madalis like knows that, and especially, she's on the hot seat with, Madam X with her screwing up so many times, so she kind of knows better to just be like, alright, I quit. That would probably just infuriate Madam X to no end, to just do nothing but go after her, so she can't quit. And of course, not only that, but like she said before, like I have too much on the line. Which, again, it also goes to show that, despite them doing what they're doing, they, for whatever reason, believe in the goal. Madalis, just what are you fighting for? I'm sorry, but I really should be getting back to the city. I need to get there myself. I need to make sure Aaron, Alice, and Alan are okay. If you want to know if they're okay, then don't go to the city. Nastasia's teamed up with Alon and their friends in order to save some of their friends. Alon teamed up with Nastasia? I don't see it happening, but I guess we've been through something similar. But does she mention who exactly they're trying to save? No, in fact, she left the specifics of the mission intentionally vague. I wonder if she's doing another unauthorized mission. Last time she did that, Madam X almost... I see. Where are they now? Now, here's the thing. That is an interesting line right there. Okay, you know what? Yeah, spoiler rant, because why not? I want to do another one. Yeah, because like that fits into... Yeah, I want to do that real quick. If you don't want to listen, that's fine. Go to the comment section below, so... Yeah. Okay, so spoiler rant here. Heavy spoilers. I want to go back to the one longtime viewers theory on Anastasia, or Nastasia, tomato, being a storm chaser or working with, you know, Creston and whatnot. Think about it for a second. Spacia, Tempa probably knew something of the sort of Alon's arrival, and they were like, hey, look, here's our goals, here's our plans. They talk to Creston talks to Nastasia, potentially something of the sort goes down like the pipeline, and Nastasia's like, okay, I got it. We're gonna go after the boat. Because here's the deal. Why the boat? Well, it's because of Nancy, right? I think it's more than just Nancy, and I mean, I think a big part of it was for Nancy, sure, but I think there's more to it. Because like, even like think about it like this way, because like even like Madam X is like, what are you doing? Like, why touch the boat? Hello? I didn't tell you to touch a boat. Why are you and Eve doing this? What is the point of any of this? Now, I don't think Madam X would have taken out Nastasia, but I guess it definitely got pretty heated. But of course, Madam X knows good and well I can't really get rid of her because I kind of need her, but I'm not happy about that. But with these unauthorized like missions, it fits somewhat with, you know, his idea that, you know, maybe Nastasia is just somebody that's working within Team Zen, kind of similar to Ren, trying to, you know, like work with them, but also gather information for, you know, like Crescent and I guess like other like storm chasers potentially. I would assume it's more so between Crescent and Nastasia, I would say, because if too many people find out and somebody says the wrong word, then that's game over to Nastasia, and that's not a good thing. If that is true. And that's a big if, because I don't really know. But, and I guess another thing to add to that theory, I forgot to say it on the one episode. Well, no, I'm gonna leave that for another episode when we get further down the line. Yeah, I'll leave it at that for now, but, I just kind of like wanted to point that out there, because it's like, it's a really interesting thing, because it's like, she did it once, Madam X was like, grr, mad. Now she's kind of like doing it again. So, yeah. Because like again, like it kind of like fits because she's like, well, it benefits us, right? But in her mind, it's like technically yes, but we kind of really need Malia alive to maybe stop Team Zen for the Paragon route, you know? If that is the goal. Because, like, there has to be, like, some level of, like, Nastasia being like, hey, I remember Ren. I remember Alon. I remember Malia from, like, the past and whatnot. Well, no, she didn't meet Malia. No. She didn't meet Malia. She met Ren. Was there anybody else? I think it's just us two, technically. Because I don't think she really met Venom? No, she technically, yeah, she met Venom when was that? When Maria got kidnapped. I think Venom was there, which I guess kind of like ties into the one thing that I wanted to hide, but since I mentioned the name Venom, I'll just bring it up here. I think that's also a big reason why she's trying to save Venom, you know? She's one of the ones on the ship that isn't like named at all, and she's like, get away from that pod. That's Venom in there, by the way. Well, we're on like a spoiler rant, so it's like fine, but I think because like her knowing about Ren, Venom, and I, it's like, yeah, you guys are cool. I'll work with you. I'm not gonna tell you any more than that, but we'll work with you. Why not? It benefits us both, but yeah, I don't know whether she is or isn't, you know, working, or like, I know like she, like again, like she is working for Team Zen, right? Like I get that, but it's more so, is she like playing the role of like a double agent? That I don't know, but it's possible. And again, thanks to that one long time viewer for that, you know, theory, because like it's a really cool theory, but we'll leave it at that for now. Alrighty, we're out of spoiler territory now. I see. Where are they now? They're heading towards the pyramid, but considering the road there is controlled by Bladestar, they may need all the help that they can get. I see. Thank you, Madalus. I'll make my way there now. Malia, I want to come with you. If Alon might be in trouble, then I gotta help too. And yeah, there she goes running away. Oh sure, the more power the better. I will send the enemy blasting off at the speed of light. That's right, together we are unstoppable. You're right, let's make our way there then. Huh? Where did Madalus go? I don't know, but she'll be fine. Come on. Mm-hmm. It's a really interesting thing how, like, the two play out differently, because, like, Eric, again, losing Sakatron, runs away, all, like, sad and mopey. You have, Madalus offer to fly you there, but it plays out differently that he comes along, but she runs away. I mean, no matter what, Madalus was going to help you besides flying her there, but yeah. What am I fighting for? Who knows if it's a good reason, but it's something that means the world to me. And if it means setting aside my person, then that's just how it's going to be. See, and I don't want to like go on the one rant that I had earlier with the spoiler stuff, but like it just really makes me like think about Team Zen more and more, because it's like, even like she's like, I don't know if it's good. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I don't know. But I'm willing to like put my feelings and everything aside for this goal. So yeah. That is probably it for today's episode. This was way longer than anticipated, but I did warn that I wanted to really talk about a lot of different things on this episode, and spoiler, but do like spoiler stuff, theorize different things, and yada yada yada. Alright, that's it for today's episode. I won't say any more besides the outro. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves out there, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Good morning.